I wish like more TV programs would be a lot more real. Even though there's reality shows, people aren't acting real on those shows. They're not being real people. So that's what I would like to see.
Even when you have a so-called reality show, on the ones that you watch on television, they're scripted. You can tell they're scripted at points.
TV, you have the opportunity to put it all out there. We got a lot of positive response and a lot of positive feedback from people on the local region. And so we're really excited about where the TV stuff is going because people can now feel us, they can now touch us, and they can also now see what it is that we're really doing.
I would like to start it at the beginning and put a rating on it. And I'm wondering if you're okay with that, or if it came in and said TGL is the TV code for language.
That's right, I'm trying to be disrespectful now. Don't scream at me.
Hey, you can scream at me.
You right, that's how you want to take it.
You okay with that?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, that's fine. You know, actually, that's one that we have to talk about. I mean, I got one or two guys. You know, yeah.
Like,
Dude.
once again, you stalling because you ain't got no.
Cause you won't shut the up.
See what I mean?
Why don't you shut up?
Yeah, that's fine. But I wanted to get away from. I didn't. Ooh, that's one that we had a little bit of conversation about. Nothing about what we do in life is about perfection. It's about the aspiration or to aspire to. What I want to show with the reality portion of this is to let people see how raw it is when people come into the raw situation when they just get started. What we are seeing now is in its infancy stages that there is truly a frustration that people experience as you know they're going through a process.
Hello everybody, my name is Richard Rogers.
Richard Rogers is our
national sales rep or something?
national sales account executive or national executive account salesperson. I know if you get the title wrong, he gets kind of bent out of shape.
Can you enlighten me a little bit? Are you in charge of sales?
It seems like most of these advertising people get they're kind of like a little hyper. And that's Richard. You know, you prick it the wrong way, and he's off and running because he's already wound so tight.
Will you stop talking so I can say what I have to say?
You just wish you had one of these.
Nah.
Huh?
Nice and silver, and with some zirconians in there. Look at that.
Oh no, that's real, baby.
That ain't real. I know real rocks, homie.
Let it be known as
I know real rocks, you know what I mean? These are cut off pieces of soap stuck into a necklace. Let it be known to the world that it's fake.
They like to clown me, you know, because actually, you know, maybe it is funny, because I don't be realizing I'm 40 years old, everybody, if you want to know America. What's that?
It's interesting.
You know, and it gets people's attention, man. The girls
we
be
gonna
loving
have.
it. Ladies
Yeah.
love it, man. You go to the club,
Oh,
you
do
be like
they?
that, they be like, ooh, I'm like, yeah, baby.
Is that what they do?
Yeah, Liquid Assets is the official jeweler for Flossin TV. Whether it's watches, chains, earrings, or any custom jewelry needs that you may have, they got you covered. Contact Liquid Assets at 1-888-ICED OUT. That's what's up.
Damn rain, it's just non-stop. It's the kind of we got to put up with adversity along with every place else you're at. When you got sunshine, it helps you get a little further down the damn road. It was really difficult in the beginning. You know, the learning curve was a short window of learning. The talent is there. We put together the medium. We put together a system and the infrastructure that's well invested, over $1 million. So with that small window of growth, in a large window of investment, I had to go and begin to figure out how to do this. We are a media company that does magazine, TV, internet, epic events, digital download, consulting. The magazine business in and of itself, a magazine today is just not enough. One has to become a complete media company.
Now that we're a media company, our roles have all gotten a little bit bigger.
For me, nothing has really changed all that much.
Bigger? Like they weren't big enough to begin with?
You know, all it is for me is more work.
This year we decided that the focus should be and to make sure that the infrastructure is really developed.
I've actually known John for 4 or 5 years now.
My buddy.
He came to me and said, you know, I'd like to go ahead and do a magazine.
CEO Jeff Bell. Hey Jeff, boy, I bet you feel uncomfortable now. You're wondering what I'm gonna say.
And when he said, do a magazine, what do you mean, John? And he said, I'd like to buy this magazine and I'd like you to be my partner.
Jeff is truly a businessman.
He told me the bigger vision of what the magazine was and what it's about and where he wanted to go with the magazine. And putting in the real estate aspect, I saw the potential.
Jeff Bell, never met him.
Jeff is this nebulous person in Reno. He's the CEO.
You hear him by phone, but you rarely see him. Every once in a while, he'll call and say, "Good work, Angels."
The dynamics of the structure above us, Jeff and Terrell, Brandon.
My role in Flossin is really more than just ownership, but it's about giving advice when it's needed.
You know, TV is a stand-up. He's just been a stand-up kind of soldier, man. You know, the cat, you can't say enough about him.
I'm proud of him. You know, you always want to see somebody doing well, especially in the black community.
He's taken his money, he's invested it, he's put it back into the community. He has a barbershop, a small business here in Portland. He cares about the community.
My neighborhood's things that I do. My barbershop, my retail store on Alberta and 13. And I'm in construction, moving my store apart to another location in North Portland. And you know, just giving back to the neighborhood.
So that's what this is about. This is about introductions, about putting together professional minds to put together a system that is going to allow us the economic and the political base to be able to survive and develop this business in accordance with professionalism. I thought you said you was going to get here this morning and handle this business.
I think that Bubba has got this sense that, you know, he can have me here any day he wants and all the time.
I asked you yesterday if you was going to be able to get in here and put this stuff on this board.
Hey, Bubba, man, you know that where my commitment's at, man, so we don't need to go into this, man.
So he called me up and asked me to come up and, you know, work on the boards.
First of all, if we have a meeting scheduled, then you guys can let people know ahead of schedule, let's get it late at night. Whenever.
Man, this boy about to make me... Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, come on, say some more of this.
Okay, so he was getting up in my ass on the phone, and it pissed me off.
You told me you'd be here this morning to put it on the board. Now I gotta eat this talking about your other job. Look, man, you can have all your other jobs or whatever. When I ask you for something, if you can't get it to me...
I think that's just sort of, you know, the initiation process. Once you sort of blow up here in Flossin, you're an official member.
I think that it's really important that people see the truth. I mean, if we set ourselves for success, people need to see the nuances of how that goes. I mean, not always you reach your goal, but what's the intricacies in trying to get there? If people can give you constructive feedback, will you still see it as breaking you down?
I only came in here for one goal, and that one goal was to come in here and work hard and build a sales team for you. I didn't come in here to have you guys tell me how my character is. I don't have time for you guys to tell me I'm full of I don't have time for you guys to tell me I'm not doing
I never said you were not doing
But I hear that at everybody's mouth around here.
No, that's not what
the
you're
sales
hearing.
team ain't doing Well, I am the head of the sales team, so therefore that means I'm not doing
Well, Richard, let's look at the sales we got for this month.
You know what, let's look at that because of the fact that I'm trying to do things behind the scenes, okay? Now here it comes. Oh, he's full of
We're really not so different from other corporations. You talk to other people and they're like, oh yeah, you know, that happened in our meeting today and we haven't spoken, you know, for 3 days.
In a media company, you know, things happen spur of the moment. Things are always changing at the drop of the dime. You know, a phone call can come in and all of a sudden now you're off on another project, you know. And I think sometimes what happens is that we have so many things coming in all at once that, you know, people lose their cool and get frustrated.
I am working my ass off, whether you guys believe it or not, to try to make something happen. And I can't make people make a decision right on a dime. But I have people that are making commitments to me right now. Over the phone, I have commitments being made to me that they are going to bring this money to us. But you guys have got to be patient. You cannot lose your patience on me and then turn around and tell me I'm losing it.
When I hear you talking most of the time, I don't really hear you talking about anything but the plate being full. The one thing I do want you to hear, Richard, is that I appreciate your attempts and your effort and contribution to Flossin magazine. And I think you're one hell of a guy for stepping up and doing what you're doing.
I'm in it to the end, man, you know, and my contribution, you know, is to be here and to see the system, you know, get in place and to see us be very successful here in 2006.
Hello everyone, I'm Chantel with Flossin magazine today. Hi.
Yesterday was yesterday, and today is a whole nother day. There's a lot of people I know that's been successful at doing something, you know, a month ago, 5 years ago, and they're still walking around on this high from something they pulled off 5 years ago. That was yesterday. Today is a whole nother day. What can you challenge yourself to do today? What can you conquer? What can you try and figure out a way to execute on? I don't dream. You know, I wake up, I dream with my eyes open. I try and figure out a way to become the people that I look up to. Because there's a lot of people that say, I'm inspired by you, but, you know, why be inspired if you're not trying to become them? I'm not talking about any competitive way where you're trying to take somebody's position, but it's like if you look up to somebody for what they've achieved and what they've accomplished in their life, then you got to figure out a way to walk down that same road. As far as spirituality, you know, everybody on my floor is very spiritual, including myself. We go to church together every Sunday. It's one thing to try and build a world and go after all these things. It's another thing to spiritually make sure that everybody's in tune and have a great relationship with God. We have a fragrance coming out that we've been working on for a while now. We don't have a due date yet. We don't have a release date, but we have a fragrance we're putting together right now to release. And we're going to do a national campaign to look for the female face of this cologne, this perfume. And we're also doing a clothing line. We're also developing a film division called HQ Films. We also have a record label called HQ Records. We also have an incredible singer group called Dime. And we got Corrupt, we got Glenn Lewis. We got a lot of very talented, incredible producers. We got 10 producers that all work in-house. They're called the Frontline Boys. And as my word and my commitment to them, I will make those guys the producers of 2006. I'm influenced by the greats. I really love Donald Trump's executioner mentality. He seems like a man that's always reaching for more. Have a great deal of respect for John Davis, another billionaire, but he's a huge executive producer behind a lot of films. And also, like my mentor, John Bryant. He's the CEO of 11 different companies. So for me, you know, I can get in the room with these guys and figure out a way to get money out of them, but that's not my angle. I want their brains. I want their thoughts. I want their business plans. I want to know how they execute on the billion-dollar level. Last thing I want to say is for everybody that's out there who's looking at this, it's me today and it's you tomorrow. And I say that because I don't want y'all to look at everything I've done throughout my career as impossible, because it's very possible. If only y'all knew, for those of y'all that do know my story, like I come from the bottom. So there's a lot of people looking at me in this fly suit and this nice looking office, like this is you tomorrow. I made a choice. I realized at a very young age that I wasn't born as a Siamese twin. So my head and my heart is not connected to another man's. So I can make my own decisions. I can do what I want to do with my life without having somebody's head connected to mine dictating whatever I need to do. Doesn't matter that your mama's a drug head or an alcoholic. Doesn't matter that you're from the hood and that you broke and everybody around you is broke. You're your own man, so it's about you dictating your own future and doing what you want to do with your life.
He will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last, thank God.
Well, there's no doubt about it. I think King is one of the rare breeds in America, and obviously there will never be probably anyone like him in his past.
Martin Luther King lost his life, you know, trying to make unity between blacks and whites and all colors. And, you know, a lot of people don't realize that some of the opportunities that they have is because of that man. And they don't even close their businesses up or take time to stop for him and thank him for his efforts and what he did to give his life up for everybody. So on Martin Luther King Day, you're not gonna find me working.
Not every corporation in America participates. I mean, this man deserves for everybody to have the day off, and not to have the day off in mourning, to have the day off in celebration.
He was a powerful man, powerful speaker, and he changed things for the good in this country. For everybody, and not just black people.
So many people who felt the principles of nonviolence were so important that they have an opportunity to be lived and spoken to and recognized on a day that's not a black holiday, that's a day and a holiday for every human being on earth.
Martin Luther King, who talks about judging a man not on the color of his skin, but on the content of his character. So often people tend to do that, man. They tend to just judge and observe and look at people from an external point of view about their outside and not look at what their real contribution is.
Today, many of us right now live off the civil rights that he done, black, white, or whatever. Those are the people right now that live off his legacy. And I think Miss King was probably one of the small inspiration that was behind the scenes that really made the movement go.
It was a sacrifice for her to give so much of her husband. It was a sacrifice to allow him to do what he did in the midst of all of the threats and the danger. Yet a greater sacrifice that upon his death, she raised all of her children to be fine, productive young men and women in this society.
And she was very, very concerned about making certain that she carried on her husband's work. She made it very clear that she did not just marry Martin, she married his cause. She was a woman who was extremely sought after by world leaders to really understand the principles of nonviolent behavior. But in her personal quest, her quest was not just to have monuments and build monuments to Martin Luther King Jr., but it was really about making certain that we lived in community with each other in a much better way, that we were able to reconcile our differences, that we were able to work together and pray together in such a way that our children and grandchildren and their children's children would inherit a much better and a much freer society than the one that her husband encountered.
I have big goals, and so, you know, personally, I want to see it across the world. You know, some say I'm a little crazy, and I've heard it a couple of times, But I think with a lot of help, a lot of sponsorships, a lot of creativity, and a lot of prayer, I think we can do exactly whatever we want to do, as long as we put our mind to it.
We got some footage in this thing here that, that's gonna set your heels on fire. So you got to make sure you really pay close attention to how this media company is being built.
The potential it has, it's got to do it. And it's got to have the goals, and it's got to meet those goals. And if it can meet those goals, then we will succeed. There's no question in my mind.
I think the only thing could stop us is us. It's something internal.
We're a young company and we're growing,